Here is the recap of the first season of Dark Matter. The main character Jason works as a physics professor and lives happily with his wife Daniela and son Charlie. One day his childhood friend Ryan, with whom he still keeps in touch, meets him and tells him that he has recently won a prestigious award in science. Jason used to be a true genius in the field of physics, but chose love instead of a career. Ryan has received a huge grant for his research, so he offers Jason to join his team, but main character says he'll think about it. The friends get very drunk, and after a heart-to-heart talk, they split up. On the way home, Jason is attacked by an unknown masked man and brought at gunpoint to an abandoned warehouse. The kidnapper injects him with some kind of substance and Jason loses consciousness. Jason regains his senses in a windowless space and is soon escorted into a room where a man named Layton, as well as other scientists, congratulate Jason on his return. Jason does not understand what is happening and eventually manages to escape from this laboratory. He returns home, but there is a woman named Amanda, whom he also saw in the lab, waiting for him. The woman claims that she is the one he is in a relationship with, and she knows nothing about his wife Daniela and son Charlie. Jason notices that the apartment looks different and such changes cannot be made in one day. At that moment, a security guard from the lab arrives at the house and Jason escapes. Meanwhile, we see that a masked kidnapper comes to the main character's house, and we realize that it is an exact copy of him. The man greets Daniela and pretends to be Jason. It turns out the action takes place in two parallel universes, and the Jasons have somehow switched places. Since the events of the series will take place in two parallel universes and will not overlap in any way until a certain point, I will tell about them sequentially. For your convenience, I will call the main character simply Jason and his doppelganger Evil Jason. Meanwhile, the protagonist still doesn't understand what's going on and goes to the hospital, as he fears that he is simply not healthy, but the doctors don't find any pathologies. Jason learns that he is considered the most famous physicist of our time, and he disappeared somewhere a year and a half ago. The man tries to find his wife and discovers that Daniela is a successful artist, and his friend Ryan is a nobody in this universe, but in the past he created a certain medical substance for him. Jason realizes that, although Daniela is not his wife here, they are on good terms. She reveals that years ago the evil Jason chose a career over marriage, after which they broke up. Jason doesn't know who else to turn to, so he asks Daniela for help. They sneak into his house together, having first lured Amanda out. Jason finds notes in which he recognizes an old design of his, some kind of box that can superposition matter. At this point, Jason realizes he's in a parallel universe and a doppelganger from that world has kidnapped him, then somehow sent him here. In the evening, guards from the lab burst into Daniela's apartment and kill the woman, after which Jason is knocked out. Soon he is interrogated again, but this time Layton, the head of the lab, thinks that Jason simply has amnesia. He shows him the lab and tells him exactly what they were working on. Turns out the evil Jason has invented a so-called box that can create a passageway between worlds. The creator of the technology went there first, without any warning. He disappeared for a year and a half. They sent 4 more people, but no one returned, and the scientists did not know what to do. However, recently the main character came out of the box. Therefore, the main task of the scientists is to make Jason remember how he did it. The man does not want to help Layton, since the local Daniela died because of him. Suddenly, the head of the laboratory realizes that not their Jason is sitting in front of him. They begin to torture him, trying to find out how he got here, but he himself does not know. Soon Amanda, who in this universe is his girlfriend and also a psychiatrist in the lab, helps Jason escape. However, they are unable to leave the building, so the only way out is to go into the box. She gives the man the same substance that injected an evil Jason at the beginning of the season. Afterward, she closes the entrance to the box. When they wake up, they find themselves in an endless corridor with an endless number of doors. Amanda tells him that the human brain cannot be in superposition, roughly speaking, to see the parallel universes that are behind each of the doors. So they created this drug that allows the brain to see infinite worlds. It only takes an hour and a half to take effect. They have 50 ampoules, so in 25 tries they must find the main character's universe, because they can't go back. However, Amanda doesn't know how the box works or how to find the right door. Jason and Amanda wander down an endless corridor and decide to open the first door they see. They find themselves in a post-apocalyptic world, which begins to collapse right before their eyes. The main characters manage to return at the last moment and close the door behind them. They realize that the coordinates of the box are the same every time in new worlds, but the couple can't find the right universe. For the record, the box works like this. If the door is closed and people have taken the substance, an endless corridor is visible. Once the door is opened, the corridor shrinks back to the box until the door is closed. The main characters look into many doors, but the world only gets worse each time. One time they saw some kind of monster in the fog. In the other was a universe where they did not have time to escape from the laboratory and they were shot. And once a planet had no atmosphere at all because of a huge sun on the horizon. After all the crazy worlds the main characters have visited, Amanda freaks out and opens a door that leads to a snowy wasteland. Jason runs after her, but when he catches up with her, he can't find his way back. Eventually, they manage to find an abandoned house and get warm. In the morning, they realize that this world has also suffered some kind of disaster. Amanda shares with Jason memories of her past and of yesterday. Afterwards, Jason realizes how to control the box. It turns out the thoughts and desires of the people in the corridor determine where the door will lead. They were scared the whole time, and that's why the main characters stumbled into post-apocalyptic worlds. We also see an enraged Leighton take the bag of apples and go into the box, hoping to find the fugitives and figure out how the device works. However, later we see that he was unable to cope with all the difficulties of parallel universes and is at death's door. Soon the couple finds the box under a layer of snow and Jason tries to concentrate on his home universe. But it turns out to be too difficult and they end up on yet another dying world. There they meet Blair from Amanda's world. She's the second test subject to enter the box. The woman has seen some real hell during her journey. Therefore, she chose a dying but stable world. The main characters fail to persuade her to go with them, after which they leave this universe. With each new attempt, Jason gets closer and closer to his world. First, he finds his hometown in the midst of a deadly virus. Then, he finds a universe that's perfectly normal, though not his own. But in it, Daniela lives happily with her husband. Jason, as well as his evil twin, gets the idea to get rid of the copy and take his place. But Jason's conscience won't allow it. After a few more attempts, Jason and Amanda find some perfect world where everything is good and people live happily. Amanda decides to stay here and asks Jason to join her, as they don't have many apples left and the chances of finding the right world are too small. Though they have become close over the course of the journey, Jason refuses and returns to the box. Soon he has only one attempt left, and the man concentrates not just on the world he wants to get to, but on the emotions he feels around his family. Then he confidently opens the door. Let's go back in time a little bit. Evil Jason is living the life of the main character. We learn that he came to this universe because he regrets his past. Years ago, he left Daniela because of his career. And since he has now achieved everything he wanted, he decided to find a universe where Jason was happy, after which he replaced him with himself. However, the doppelganger doesn't like his job as a teacher and quits, and to have money to live on, he finds Leighton in this universe. For the record, in his world it was he who financed the creation of the box. Local Leighton doesn't want to hear about another business idea, but the evil Jason says that he wasn't going to offer him anything, but wants to show him something that will make Leighton speechless. He takes the man to the abandoned hangar and shows him the box. After drinking the substance, they go inside, and the evil Jason shows him some worlds that Leighton is fascinated by. The doppelganger explains in general terms how the box works and offers a trade. Leighton gives him a huge sum of money, and the evil Jason teaches him how to use the device and gives him the remaining ampoules of the substance. Leighton, being very rich, has already tried everything he can in this world, so such an offer seems tempting to him. For some time they travel through the worlds and eventually Leighton asks for more ampoules. He will pay an additional $1 million for each one. Evil Jason agrees and returns to his world. There, he picks up several packages of ampoules and discovers that Jason and Amanda have gone into the box. The doppelganger realizes that they can find him. Meanwhile, the evil Jason behaves unusual for those close to him, and they begin to suspect that something is wrong with him. Daniela notices injection marks on his veins and decides to follow her husband. She eventually discovers his storage unit and retrieves an ampoule from there. The woman asks Ryan for help in determining what the substance is, and he soon discovers that the composition is very similar to his own work, but it is classified and could not fall into the wrong hands. Ryan meets with an evil Jason and tries to clarify the situation, but the evil Jason says that it is better if he shows him everything. They head to the box and after taking the substance go inside. Evil Jason tells his friend about the existence of other universes, but you can only get into the ones where your version exists or has existed. The doppelganger takes Ryan to a beautiful world where happiness reigns and technology has advanced. He leaves him there and closes the door behind him. Soon, after teaching Layton how to handle the box, the evil Jason gives him the remaining ampoules and sends him on a solitary journey, after which he walled up the entrance. However, after a while, a detective appears on his doorstep. She reports Ryan's disappearance and suspicions fall on the evil Jason. The situation starts to get out of control, so he breaks the blocked entrance to the box and finds in some random universe alcoholic Ryan, who works as a car mechanic. Evil Jason gets him drunk and takes him to his universe. Then he makes it look like Ryan has lost his mind. Daniela begins to suspect that something is wrong, but the evil Jason manages to change her mind for a while. One night, evil Jason is attacked by his doppelganger, but evil Jason manages to kill the man. Afterward, he hides the corpse in his car. Let's go back in time a little bit. Jason steps out of the box and soon realizes that this is his universe. He becomes convinced that the evil Jason lives with his wife and goes to a gun store, but learns that an identical man to him walked in a few minutes ago and also wanted to purchase a gun. The main character realizes that every decision he made after getting into the box created an additional copy of Jason, and there must be an infinite number of them in the corridor. Some of them have also returned to this world, hoping to bring back Daniela and Charlie. Let's call the rest of the Jasons for convenience copies. It was one of the copies that the evil Jason killed some time ago. The next day, the evil Jason is chased by other copies, and even kills another one in the restroom of the university where he was teaching. Meanwhile, the main character tricks Daniela out of the house and tells her about parallel worlds. At first, his wife thinks that he went cuckoo, but Jason manages to convince her. He asks her to take their son Charlie out of the house and meet him later, after which they separate. Daniela returns home and pulls an evil Jason down the stairs. Then the other copies show up and try to get their wife away. But the woman and her son escapes from them and returns to the main character. The family is hiding in a mansion that only the son Charlie knows about. The remaining copies, of which there are already several dozen, are trying to find loved ones and even create a general chat room. Jason joins and learns that some are willing to hold a lottery or even do joint custody, but some are clearly cuckoo and will do anything to get their family back. Daniela realizes the situation she is in, so she informs that she has made a choice. She will stay with the main character, even though the others are in fact also her husband. Soon their hideout is found and the real carnage begins. One of the copies is about to kill Jason, but he is saved by the evil Jason. He tells them he's sorry for what he did. He gives them his car and lets them go. Charlie finds a package with ampoules in the car, and the main character realizes that the only way to get out of this situation is to find a new world where they will not be found by other copies. They arrive at the warehouse, but there are already several dozen copies waiting for them there. However, they have no intention of attacking. The copies have also realized that the only way out for Danielle and Charlie is to leave their universe with the Jason they themselves chose. Therefore, the copies are only here to say goodbye. The family goes into the box, and after a while they find a world they are willing to stay in. Meanwhile, we are shown other worlds. Ryan from the original universe finds himself in the same world as Amanda, and he somehow learns that she is not from here. We also see that Ryan has started synthesizing the very substance to travel in the box. Meanwhile, Leighton continues to travel across universes and is having the most fun. And Blair finally decides to leave her dying world. This is the end of the first season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.